Hello everyone and welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And on this week's episode we will be talking about Hunter x Hunter 1999 episodes 13 through 15. Continuing our watch through here.
Hell yeah.
Then of course we will be going through our community comments. If you'd like to join in on the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version on the weekly community posts. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod as well as Bluesky at THAPod for podcast-related updates and to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we have provided timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. Now then, as per usual, there's no news. Can you guys believe that?
Yeah, surprise, surprise, right?
Yeah, what a shocker. So, except the Steel Ball Run anime, but that's not Hunter x Hunter. Really.
Yeah, maybe on the alternate timeline of a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast that we
Yeah. I wish.
Never in my million years of living.
Unfortunately.
No.
Don't worry, I'll get them to watch Steel Ball Run. It'll happen. But we do have, to our surprise, we have two continuations of last week's art that we got about the battle to decide Owl's number one fan.
Guys,
So
it's pretty
this
insane.
Yes, we cannot believe the level of quality and the speed at which these are made by Leo Dog here in our audience.
The turnaround is actually genuinely impressive. I can't say enough about it.
Yes. So we kind of have like an impromptu chapter recap here, at least part of the chapter.
Yeah.
So starting off this first page here, we can see that we are in fact in Heaven's Arena as we speculated, and I am in fact in Kurapika's outfit as we also speculated. So theories already coming true. Look at us.
Yeah, look at us.
In the crowd we have a lot of Dylan love.
A lot.
Only one sign reading Cage, so there's a clear favorite in the crowd, I will say.
Yeah, no, they love me.
They sure do. We have Togashi himself being the referee here, telling us to begin. And actually, which way is this supposed to be read? Is this Japanese style or is this English?
Good
like
question.
American?
Actually,
Yeah, you can read it both ways pretty comfortably.
Dealer's choice.
Regardless, I will. I'll read it in Japanese style, I suppose. It's definitely based on the second page. It's definitely Japanese. It's right to left.
Yes, but also on the first one though, the first page, I think it's more Americanized because like you're holding up like the spark on your finger or whatever, and then it's reflected within Owl's glasses.
Unless it could be he sees it first, and then
that's true. Okay, so if the second page is definitely Japanese manga wise, then this one probably is too. Okay,
that'll be cleared up in the anime adaptation.
yeah. That'll be a treat.
So, anyways, Togashi tells us to begin, and Owl says, this will be very interesting. With Genthru's polycule in the background, of course.
I wonder how they met up. Like, how did those groups converge?
I'd love to know. I want a full lore book for this world that this is taking place in.
Me too. It'd be really interesting.
So we have me here holding up something with my finger, a little aura thing. And then why don't you take us away on the second page here, Dylan?
Yeah. So let me bloom up my page a little bit to read it a little bit more effectively. So we have a bit of a monologue here from the announcer, which is insert name.
This got an audible laugh out of me. This is very funny.
And as an insert name comment generally will be, it's pretty long. So to summarize what used to be a great friendship, what used to be a great friendship has turned sour after a disagreement at Owl's last concert. In order to see this once-in-a-lifetime spectacle, what feels like the entire world has shown up to this match that will surely change the course of the story as we know it. We are about to witness peak. And then,
So true.
Rihan is right beside him saying, I see fellow yappers combining their strengths here.
What a good bit. He's out yapping Rihan.
And then we see a nice little panel here of Kaige kind of charging up a spirit bomb almost, it looks like.
Yeah.
You have some signs in the back. I see Leorio fan club. And the other two I'm having a little hard time reading just from the image size.
Let me pull it up on my phone. Go ahead and keep reading though.
I think it's Marry Me Menchie. I think that's the other one.
Oh, yeah. Marry Me Menchie and Leorio for Prez are the other two.
Very nice.
Good.
So after charging up this attack, Kaige launches this straight at my face and misses. He sucks really badly, obviously.
So true.
Crashes.
That is an excellent expression on your face there. I love that.
Yeah. I love it too. It crashes into the wall behind me though. And then not bad, kid. Yeah, Gon is in the crowd watching this for some reason.
Oh, we got Gon and Razor cheering
Gon
one
and
of
Razor.
us on.
How did Razor get out of Greed Island?
I don't know. He just kind of felt like it, and he jumped.
He jumped. I respect it. But yeah, which I say in response, nice attack, but you kind of missed. Haha. Which I'm not wrong here. You did miss.
I did miss. However,
but Kaige says I'm wrong, and we're left on that cliffhanger now.
You're wrong. Yeah.
How am I
what
wrong?
will happen?
Leave your predictions in the comments.
Yeah, this is, it's hard to theorize here because clearly we're being led to believe this is a sort of spirit bomb type thing. I am a Dragon Ball fan. I think that's pretty well known. So, in Dragon Ball, the spirit bomb has once been bounced back by Gohan after it being thrown. So it was redirected once, but that required the aid of someone else. And I don't believe I have anybody set up behind that wall, but you never know. Could happen. Maybe I don't even know who could possibly be back there, but
someone was hidden in the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to see what my Nen ability is. This is hype. We're about to get a big reveal here. Next time we get a continuation.
Yeah, no. Obviously, there was some Dylan favoritism at the beginning, but maybe the tides will turn and Kaige gets a super buff and I get my face, caved into the floor. But
we could see a one-hit KO here, Dylan.
We could maybe. We'll see though. We'll see. Assuming Leo Dog makes any further follow-ups to this, he doesn't have to. Obviously, no, this is purely.
I stressed that in the emails. You do not have to continue, but we do love this.
But this is awesome, and we'll provide you any updates to the story as they come our way. But very awesome stuff that we wanted to show off, regardless.
Absolutely.
It's always a blast receiving these. So thank you, Leo Dog, once again.
And by the way, if you're an audio listener, you can check out our socials to see the images.
Yeah, I still need to post these 2 pages on the Twitter,
okay.
But once this episode goes live, I'll definitely take some time to post them there.
Yeah. Yes, great work again, Leo Dog. Great stuff in here. Love the insert name bit. That is so funny.
Yeah, that's great for sure.
So yeah, I guess with that, we're ready to talk about these episodes. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get into it. There's no other news, so yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, welcome to our coverage of Hunter x Hunter 1999, episodes 13 through 15. We are on to Trick Tower, the 3rd phase of the Hunter exams now.
Let's go.
So, start off... Oh, what's up?
I was gonna say we immediately start off with like the dude. I can't remember his name. He's like eating
Lippo.
a cookie and like snaps it in half. And I wanted to point that out right away because that's like the main thing I can recall from this episode because that happens like a billion times in transitions.
It happens throughout, all three of these episodes. We constantly cut to him just eating like a Pocky or a cookie, something.
Yeah.
But yeah, his name's Lippo or Lipo. I don't really know which one it is, but
Sure.
But immediately, and this is something I already knew about. I'm not sure if you know this bit of trivia. You might, Dylan. But this rock climber that we start off with is voiced by Togashi.
Oh, I didn't know that actually. Huh.
Yeah, so it's pretty
What?
funny. Yeah.
Huh.
I've known about this for a long time. I've seen this clip before, but it's cool to just see it.
So he voices an unnamed character that's immediately offed. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I get to hear him try to act and scream, which is awesome.
The more you know. That makes me appreciate that a little more.
Yeah, it's a good little moment. So, the main theme of these episodes that we'll continue to discuss is being faithful, which I'm personally surprised by because to this point, 99 has taken a lot of liberties and done some like just really random small additions here and there, but it's not too guilty of that in this batch. There are little weird changes and such, but nothing too crazy.
No, nothing that would be like eye-catching, or even ones that like you would immediately like recognize as like, yeah, this is different. It's very faithful all the way through, which is again shocking because I thoroughly expected them to add something of note to Trick Tower specifically.
They still might. There's still time.
True. Yeah, we don't get through all of Trick Tower within these 3 episodes. Spoiler alert. But
yeah, no. Yeah. So it's also this we adapt roughly chapters 15 to 20 in these episodes here. So pretty good pace, not bad.
Not bad at all.
So we got the whole thing. They're trying to figure out how to even get into the tower itself, and eventually the 4 of them stumble into the 4 doorways that allow all 4 of them to enter together. But of course, they need the 5th guy, who will eventually be Tonpa, as we know.
Classic.
And the only cool thing to note about this is the scene where they actually jump down is really neat. Like they do this whole spinning, like crazy camera work, and then we get to see each of them fall down one by one. It's really neat.
Yeah, I really liked it. Also, something weird that I get tangentially related, I guess. They like kind of like changed how the actual doors or like the floor doors, however you want to call them, work in that, because I'm pretty sure in at least the other adaptations, or at least 2011, the tiles don't even move once they're like someone enters them, but they have like a weird like locking mechanism this time in the 99 version.
I'm actually not sure. I have the wrong volume with me. I could go up and get it, but I have the volume that's like the next episode onward, so I can't check quickly, but I'm pretty sure in the manga and the 2011 anime, the doors kind of just like lock in place, like you just can't move them anymore after somebody went down, which I guess is still the case, but you don't see those like bars. They
still like they still open up, but like you have like bars that come in and like prevent you from going in, or something like that. Regardless though, that leads into a cool shot of like kind of the spinning shot of them all kind of like jumping down into it at the same time. It looked really cool. I dug it a lot.
Yeah, really cool. So the 4 of them get their bracelets, and Lippo explains the whole majority rule thing, of course. Then they just wait for Tonpa, who arrives gracefully with 69 hours left on the clock. Nice. And then they have to make their first decision, and Tonpa, of course, says no to the very basic question of like, do you want to open the door? What was he really thinking? Like, did he honestly think he could sway that decision in any way?
I mean, he's being true to his nature. I gotta give him some credit there.
Fair enough. You gotta respect it.
He knows that everybody else knows that he's kind of a piece of shit at this point. So
he's just embracing it.
Yeah,
and then
not fully though. That's
no.
for later.
Yeah. So there's this weird scene that I always, anytime I revisit Hunter exams, I always get hung up on, where I don't understand why it's a problem. This has to be some kind of cultural difference with the whole left and right thing. Because
I realize this too.
yeah, I just don't understand what is happening here. I've never understood it. I've never looked at an explanation before. I'm sure it's out there, but like, I don't know what that like. Oh, choosing left is like the easy way or whatever, the more common choice.
In all fairness, I've definitely heard of this before, even before Hunter x Hunter. It's just like a psychology type of thing, essentially. Where like,
really,
it's very similar actually. Have you ever heard of like when you're taking like a multiple choice test, how like people are more likely to pick the letter C as like their default letter if they don't know which answer is correct?
Yeah,
it's kind of similar to. It's similar to that logic in that like there's something wired in most people's brains to where like they'll just default left in these kind of scenarios where they have to choose left or right. So it's kind of referencing that. Yeah, it's more of a it's an actual like psychological type thing.
Okay, so it's not a cultural
I don't know the exact reasoning. Yeah, no, it's not cultural. It's a more commonplace thing for sure.
Well, that's fascinating. Okay. Well, I guess now I know. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
So they carry on from that. Leorio gets all pissed off about it. And there's also a moment, like again, where I was also confused. Where like Gon is like, "Oh, I'm the same level as Leorio for picking left." I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I will say what confused me more about this specific situation was that they had like right and left labeled on like X and circle like the opposite way. At least like for the version that we watched. So like left like voting for so voting for right was on the left, like the leftmost button, and then left was on the rightmost button. It really annoyed me. But
I didn't even pick up on that.
That could probably be more of a cultural thing. But
yeah, more than likely. So the gang carries on and gets to the little trial chamber here, the one we all know and love, where we first greet Ben Dot, who is the bald guy, serial killer, I believe, is what he is.
But the bald part is more important.
Yes, the bald part is much more important. So, it's the standard fare. We have the gang like, oh fuck, this guy looks tough. How are we gonna deal with him? Yada yada. And then the goat, our hero, Tonpa, steps up to the plate. Brave man.
He is so brave, and he's having a change of heart here, right?
Right.
If you were watching this for the first time, he's turning a new leaf. He's becoming the goat now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he tells everybody. He's like, I'm turning over a new leaf. I got to prove myself here. I'm going to test this guy's abilities. I want to see what these people are capable of. I'll be the test dummy. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. So we have a whole long drawn out thing here of just like hyping up this fight. Like, oh shit, it's going to be insane. Maybe Tompa's got some like hidden skills. He gets into a fighting stance. Ben Dot rushes him. And then Tompa surrenders. And that's it.
Hey, listen, if I was told to my face, yeah, this is going to be a death fight, like, you either die or surrender, and that's how it all ends. I get it, low key. I get it.
You can't blame him. You really can't blame the guy. This is scary shit, So that leads us into a really funny moment, which I thought was cool, like where it shows the from Lippo's perspective of like watching the security cams, and it goes from seeing Tompa like on the floor to each screen being like the reaction face of the main four.
It's like shocked Pikachu funny. Face, but for every character.
It's really cute. I loved that little moment.
It was very well directed. I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Good little punchline.
So he surrenders. Everybody gets pissed at him. Leorio is definitely about to kick the shit out of him, but they stop him. And,
okay. Now this is where he reveals his true colors. Like, yeah, like I'm in this entire thing just to see other people fail. I get a kick out of it. That's the classic Tompa philosophy, I suppose.
Yeah, we have this whole monologue from him about. I mean, he's just a shithead. That's basically what this monologue boils down to.
Yeah. I believe Killua threatens to kill him as well, and just be saved by Gon just being
he threatens to kill him, but he also mentions the fact that Bendot's strategy would have likely been to rip out Tonpa's throat so he couldn't surrender, and then have him just like stall out the rest of the time, and then he gets really freaked out, which I thought was really funny.
So hey, in a way, Tonpa did the correct thing.
He did. He didn't stand a chance. And that's pretty much the end of the episode. We have Gon running in to do his match, and that's the end of that episode. It's a very not much to say about it. We got through that one very fast, but like
very, very 1-to-1, very straightforward.
Yeah.
Not really a whole lot of substance to talk about. Although I do have to say, I expected the actual Trick Tower like environment to be like for better or for worse, like the tunnel, like at the very beginning of the Hunter exam, where it's just completely pitch black, dark, and like very little lighting. I was a little concerned about that, but I'm pleasantly surprised in that this was actually pretty like well lit, and just the environment is how it should be presented, from all the other adaptations I've seen of it so far. So
yeah, absolutely. It doesn't. The lighting is not that bad. It is definitely dark, but I think it looks good this time around. It's not like too dark.
It's dark enough to where like they're inside like a dark tower, obviously, right? But like I don't know, just like the work of like shadows that they have with like the flames that are flickering around them. Like I don't know, it looks pretty convincing and it looks good. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it looked really great. I was pretty impressed with the lighting. Like the fire too, lighting the arena looks really great. I think this is a super solid lighting choice here.
Absolutely. But yeah, aside from that, there isn't really a whole lot to talk about aside from like the Togashi voice actor at the beginning of the episode. That was cool,
which I love that so much. You should definitely rewatch that with that in mind and just hear like. I mean, honestly, for me, that might be the first time I've heard Togashi speak, because I've never. There are interviews, like vocal interviews out there, but I've never watched them, so it's just neat. Like, this is this guy's manga I just read, or I read all the time, and here's his voice. It's just, I don't know, because you don't get to hear mangaka's voices too often. They're very secretive people.
Right. Yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, aside from that, pretty by the numbers, all things considered. Not that that's a bad thing either, but just not a whole lot to really say in comparison to the manga or even 2011.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good episode. Honestly, it was really well directed. Just not much to say about it because it's pretty straightforward. So, carrying on into episode 14, we have we start off with just Lippo again. He's eating Pocky this time instead of a cookie, of course. And
good thing he has variety.
Yeah, it's nice. We have the beginning of Gon's match here with Seto Khan, the serial bomber, who we actually just talked about last week very briefly in Gon's retrospective. The first bomber that Gon fights.
The first bomber, that's right.
That's right. So, we get the whole... They explain here about their sentences being reduced if they're able to stall them. That's the whole gimmick here. You know how it goes. Yeah. Eventually, a lot of bickering about that. Oh, no, this is actually where Killua says the throat thing, but whatever.
Oh, okay. It kind of all blended into one another.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I mean, this whole part might as well just be one episode. So, Seto Khan explains the proposed rules of the match of, candles, light them, whatever one runs out first loses.
Yeah. Simple
enough. He does hide the fact that one is shorter at first, even though that doesn't end up mattering, of course. But he kinda holds them both so they look the same length.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into Kurapika's whole explanation of like it's like a, what was the term that he used again? I can't. It started with a D. The word that I'm thinking of. Something choice, where basically presented with two options that are like equally like as dangerous to pick.
A disparate choice.
Disparate choice. Yeah. Basically saying like one could be trapped, but the other is equally likely to be trapped, and so you're kind of second guessing in an endless loop. So like it's a choice presented to you to make you overthink it, essentially. Yeah,
it's another time wasting strategy.
Yep.
But I've always loved this moment. Kurapika, like they're all trying to figure this out and break it down. And then Kurapika's just like, no, Gon, just decide. Because Gon won't think about it. He'll just do it.
Yeah. Natural instincts.
Yeah. That's so smart. Like, yeah, just let the kid with good instincts just choose. Whatever. Let's see what happens. Let's not bother thinking about it.
And then as Gon would do so, he says, okay, I picked the long candle because it's the longest.
Yep,
And
of
it'll last
course.
the longest. Okay.
Anyone could predict it, of course.
Yeah.
So he does that, and they light the candles. And there's a very funny discrepancy with, I assume, with the background artist here. When they go up to light them, these posts with the flames and stuff, they're like level with them. But then any other shot where the background is like pre-drawn, they're like way up in the air.
I noticed that too, I thought, but I couldn't tell if that was just like me, like, I don't know. I didn't rewind at all noticing that.
Yeah, it 100% happens. And I will say, again, I can't check the manga because I'm dumb as hell. But in the 2011 anime, they add a scene, and it might be in the manga too, where they lower those pillars down, like with some mechanism, so they can light them. But that's not.
Oh wait, I'm watching it now as we're discussing this. They did actually. There's a couple seconds of it like moving down. Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay, so,
oh my God,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. Oh, what the hell?
I just got to that part, so I was like, wait a second, wait.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, that's so weird.
That.
When I first watched that, my brain interpreted that as some weird like perspective shift. Like it was like I don't even know how to explain how I saw it. It probably makes sense to somebody. Anyways, never mind. None of that is accurate. Ignore that. So
I gotta say, throughout this entire when the moment they light the candles and for like almost the entire rest of the episode, have you like noticed a trend as well? Like for like a time filling part of the episode, they just have multiple different shots of Seto-kan like moving his hair back and just like staring into the camera. That happens like 5 different times. I could not stop laughing as it kept happening.
They love doing that, and they also just love like reaction shots of the main 4 back there. They'll just like there's one in the next episode which made me laugh my ass off, which at the very end I'll talk about. But so yeah, a lot of time stalling here. Obviously, I mean, how do you even make this visually interesting? Like, it's just they're just waiting for candles to burn out, so they just have Seto-kan just flip his hair and have this shit-eating grin on his face.
Yeah, they explained how Seto-kan had like 4 different candles prepared, so like it was gonna be trapped for them regardless of what they chose. Yeah.
And so yeah, the one Gon picked had gunpowder in it to speed up the burning process.
Mm-hmm.
And,
big flame.
Yeah, big flame. It's almost burnt out. Gon sets it on the ground, and he just runs up and blows out Seto-kan's candle. Hell yeah! And he wins.
That's our MC.
That's it.
Yeah, he won.
That's our goat.
Although I gotta say, with all that melted wax going down his hand, how did he not get like any burns or scars?
Yeah, that would be so unbelievably painful.
I'm surprised he held on to it for as long as he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Seto-kan gets one more hair flip in before Gon blows out the candle. Just had to get that in.
It's like the exact same shot. Of him just, like, moving around his hand, flipping his hair back.
So funny. It's like an idle animation in a fighting game.
Yeah, like the character select idle animation.
Yeah. So next up, that's over. Gon wins. Got a dub. And now we have the GOAT, Majitani, making his debut.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously Kurapika's up. And Majitani, I noted last time that I said, we got a blue guy in here, but he's not blue in this one. He's actually
like gray, right?
Yeah, like gray, brown. I don't know what color that is, but like purplish a little bit.
Kinda like a lilac, kind of.
yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It's hard to tell because of like the shadowing and lighting they do in the episode.
And to be honest, I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know if anybody even gives a shit about Majitani to begin with, but I actually like this color scheme better. I think it's
sure.
It's more it's just more like natural. Like Blue is just like, what in the hell am I looking at? But this is like, yeah, this looks like a guy that just did a bunch of weird shit to his body.
Okay, I can kind of see it from that reasoning. Sure.
I like it. And that's exactly what he did. He's an idiot. We all know he actually sucks ass. He can't do anything. He just kind of intimidates people. So
All show, no tell.
Kurapika takes his shirt off. Pretty awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And we see, you know, he's getting a good look at Majitani, and Majitani is forcefully explaining his whole spiel to him about, like, all the hearts or the 19 people I killed. I'm always pissed off that it's an uneven number. Yada, yada. You know,
casually trying to show his fake spider tattoo.
Yeah, so he does he punches the ground. He has a steel implant in his hand. And then after getting up from the punch, he does this really unnatural turn. Like it's just like stands there with his back facing him for like a minute straight. Check this out.
Majitani is always just such an interesting character to think about. Like,
I kind of love him. He's just so funny. He sucks ass.
Yeah. It's just funny to think about this character.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I like him a lot. He's also like, I can only punch once because it hurts my hand too much.
Yeah. I didn't remember that line, but when he said that, I was actually cackling. Like, wow, this guy actually just sucks. He's such a freak, and he sucks. How can that be in this universe?
I don't know. So he calls himself Majitani the Destroyer, one of the 4 divas of the Phantom Troop.
Yeah. Right.
Right on, brother. So he's thinking like, oh, this is it. Kurapika's done here. He's gonna quit. Yeah. But instead, Kurapika gets pissed. His eyes are scarlet, of course. Mm-hmm. Walks towards him slowly, and he does the very iconic grab you by the face, throw you up, and then hit you back down.
Yep, and throws him into the ground before he can even say, I surrender.
Yes, which will bite them in the ass. But for now, it's cool. I think it's just awesome as hell.
Cool scene. Kurapika goes into detail after that. He's like, 3 things, like one, like what all did he say actually? I forget the exact things, but
one is
an actual Phantom Troop member would have like their number carved into the tattoo.
Yes, the number.
2, they don't bother to keep count of the number of people they killed. 3, don't ever speak of the troop again.
Yes, hell yeah.
Cold. And I love it.
That's an awesome shot too. His hair is just like flowing with the red eyes.
Yeah.
Kurapika in the 99 adaptation just looks awesome. I don't know what it is. It's just a solid ass character design.
The presentation of Kurapika specifically grows on me more and more as the episodes go on. Like, I don't know. There's something about it. I really don't know what it is, because it's not that different from 2011, really. And at least on, just on paper, right?
Right.
But I feel something a little bit more intense, like seeing these scenes with Kurapika in 99.
No, 100%.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's like the darker tone. It just feels more like real and serious. Not that it doesn't in 2011, or especially the manga. I mean, obviously the manga feels very real, but I don't know. It's just the presentation here is really good. They handle Kurapika really well, and everybody really well so far, honestly. Mm-hmm. Of the main 4, especially Leorio. Can't wait for Yorknu in that regard.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, it's getting me more and more excited for Yorknu as we continue.
Long way to go for that, though. But so Kurapika's, he's satisfied with this fight. We have the whole thing. There's a little in between this, but I'll just skip straight to the part where they're like, well, he didn't surrender and he's not dead, so the fight's not over. And Leorio is, of course, just like, go kill him. Like, let's get this over.
Finish it, Kurapika.
Yeah. Kurapika does not want to be a killer. I mean, he's already kind of beating himself up for, hurting a person who was about to surrender. So,
right.
he's in his feelings about it. He doesn't want to continue this anymore. Debatable on if this is the right choice. I'm somewhere in between Leorio and Kurapika on this argument. Like
the key thing is that there you can see both sides clearly.
Yeah,
Like, there's everybody has their reasoning, which is kind of what they get into a little bit. I can't remember 2011 or the manga even like dives into that, but like I think it was Killua that brought up that or was it Killua? I think it was Killua. I can't remember. Like everybody has their reasonings as to what they want to do, right? So you can't force anybody to do any one thing.
Right. Even with majority rule, and this, Tompa's all like hell yeah about this because he's like, okay, yeah, it's gonna start breaking them apart. I win.
Yep, I win.
But they have Gon, and Gon is a very rational person who just really just tells them like, hey, let's not fight amongst ourselves. And there's this awesome moment where Leorio is like, whose side are you on? And he says, our side.
Yeah,
Aww.
I love that. I loved that line.
So sweet. And that just kind of brings everyone to their senses like that. Yeah.
Gon is the glue to this entire like group here, and that kind of just showcases it even further.
Yeah. So what else even happens here? I guess.
They just kind of keep showcasing the point of like the group's kind of like breaking down a little bit over these like disagreements. Leorio specifically, right?
Yeah.
He kind of gives up after a little bit. He kind of gives in. He's like, fine, okay, we'll wait for him to wake up or whatever, right? And we get more shots of Tompa just being Tompa and all that. And eventually, this actually leads into the Hisoka stuff, I believe, after Leorio is sulking in the corner.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. The ending shot, is literally just Leorio kind of sulking, and then it moves into episode 15. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So
so we end on that note with Leorio just kind of like, okay, fine, whatever, we'll do what you guys want to do.
Right. And okay, so fine episode, a lot of stalling and padding, I will say, but
yeah.
It gets
but
the
like
job
also
done.
it's inevitable because I think 2011 did a lot of this too, to be fair, with like the padding, because again you can only showcase so much happening within this part, Trick Tower in general, with especially when the entire prospect is like basically just like stalling time, right? So a lot of it is just kind of baked into like the dialogue and kind of just like stalling things out as you can for the episode runtime. So like I get it to an extent, considering the topic of it all. But again, it's kind of just straightforward adaptation, all things considered. There's not really a whole lot of deviation from anything, at least that I can recall.
Yeah, this episode in particular, I think, is extremely faithful. I can't really think of anything that anything too egregious that was changed. Maybe like very minor things, but.
Yeah, looking on Hunterpedia, there was a couple of like minor additions, but like nothing that neither of us would have seen immediately as like, oh yeah, this is different.
Okay.
Like when Majitani was talking about their chances of winning and getting their sentences reduced, they showed that shot of like Jonas's eyes under his cloak, saying like amnesty wouldn't do him any good. That scene.
That was new for 99.
That was new for 99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just little shit.
And then also, when Kurapika's eyes turned scarlet, that Gon kind of remembered Kurapika's eyes turning scarlet during Phase 1, which was an anime original scene, so they called back to that.
Okay.
Because in the manga, Kurapika's reaction to that tattoo was the first time Gon actually sees the scarlet eyes.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the case here, so you don't get that first time reaction. So it's him just being like, oh yeah, his eyes did turn scarlet then.
Yeah, that's a weird thing. But whatever, it's not a huge deal.
No, not huge deals at all, really.
But, solid episode, cool Kurapika moments. It looked nice.
Yeah, that's about all that we can say, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which brings us into episode 15, where we open on Hisoka, kind of doing his thing, and he... runs into Togari.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching this the first time through, I thought I was watching anime only.
Oh,
Like
well,
scene for scene. I didn't
kind
remember
of.
this. I didn't remember this at all from 2011. So it took me off guard. I was like, did this even happen? And like I looked into it and it did. And I was like, oh, so I just don't remember
Yeah,
this.
it's just different for like no reason. So, and this really threw me off because like I did remember this scene. I've always kind of liked this scene, but
Okay.
I was like, losing my mind. There is stuff in between this, but it's not really important. Actually, it is important, but whatever. I want to talk about the Hisoka stuff before
We'll talk about the
go back
Hisoka
to-
thing first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's it's Hisoka versus Togari, who in the manga it's the former examiner that Hisoka attacked the prior year, which got him disqualified. And Togari's trying to get revenge for that happening, but for some inexplicable reason in this adaptation, he's just an examee. He's just a guy participating in the hunter exams both times. I guess Hisoka hurt him last year for some reason.
As an examinee, like.
Yeah. What? I just don't understand.
Like, why did they fight then if they were both examinees? Like, what caused this? Like, it's so weird because again, I looked into this after I saw it because I was just confused in general, right? It makes sense from immediately when you know that he's an examiner because like it tells a logical story there. Like, okay, the examiner probably pissed Hisoka off or something. He attacked him, he got disqualified. There's an obviously like storyline there, a grudge between those two or whatever, right? So it makes sense why this encounter happens. It has two examinees. We need so much more context as to like how those two are even related to each other in general, and they don't give us that. So the whole encounter was just really confusing to me as someone who was basically seeing that for the first time again, because again, I didn't remember. So
yeah, it
was
so random.
Very weird. It felt very random.
Yeah, it's because there's also, you gotta think, like, the fact that Hisoka, hurt or nearly killed or whatever a proctor last year is known. Like, that was already told to us in this adaptation even. Like, that's a setup thing, and this is the payoff of that setup. But they don't pay it off in this adaptation. It's so weird. I really sat there and I paused it, and I was just, like, thinking about it for a while. Like, what... Mm-hmm. Why? Like, why change this? And I couldn't come to any conclusion. I have no idea. I just don't get it. It's so weird.
It's very odd. And the actual presentation of the fight was interesting too. Again, I don't remember anything from 2011. Maybe they did it just as like weirdly, but like it was like not even a fight really, and that's probably the point, right? Because it's so
it's just to show that Hisoka's cracked out. It's pretty similar in 2011. A different location that it happened in, but. It's pretty similar, but yeah.
I find it amusing though that like this guy was like training so hard over the last like year to like for this moment of revenge, and all he gets out of it is like juggling 4 knives, and like that's throwing them as boomerangs. I guess
this took me 6 months. There must be some kind of nen ability, I guess.
Maybe.
I mean, he's a proctor. He has to be trained in nen.
Maybe they changed it from him being a proctor because, like, why would like other proctors allow the proctor to interfere with the exam like that? That's something.
The implication was always that he kind of just did this on his own.
Okay, but he was also like not involved with any other thing prior to this, so like we don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, I mean that makes it weird as him being an examinee. Like he was retaking the exam this whole time, and we just didn't see him.
Yeah, right? So, like, it's weird no matter what. Why did they change that? That's so bizarre.
I don't know. It's so weird. I just don't understand it all. Whatever, it happens. It's censored, of course. Hisoka cuts his head off in the manga, and I think in 2011 as well. But here he does nothing, really.
The entire bottom half of the screen turns red, and that's...
But then you see his body... fine, just leaning up against a wall. I whatever. Okay, sure. That happens. It's cool. Hisoka passes. Cool. Good job.
Yeah. Woo.
And so back to the boys. They are. This is the bet. Okay. It's been a few hours. is Majitani actually dead? That's what they're proposing.
Mhm.
Leorio is betting that he is still alive, and Ben Dot is saying that he's actually dead. So they go up. They do the bridges. They're back, and Leorio walks over, checks his pulse, and he's like, "Okay, he's alive." So that's bet one. He only bet 10 hours on that one. He wasn't feeling
Yeah.
too
Well,
frisky on that one.
they can only bet up to like intervals of 10, I believe, and they had like 57 or 58 hours remaining. So technically, they only gained like 2 hours from winning that bet.
They only
because
gained
they
10
got him
hours.
up to 60. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's kind of the whole thing about this, right? If you don't recall, listeners, where basically they're betting like the hours remaining against like the hours of or they're betting the hours remaining that they have to escape Trick Tower against the prisoners who are like equally betting like years off of their sentences.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's kind of a weird conversion rate thing.
It's because time equals years.
1 hour
for
equals 1 hour of Trick Tower equals 1 year of
yes
of their sentence. Yeah, basically.
Right. And they all have like 100-year sentences, like life sentences, basically. So that's huge for them. So he is alive, and then he takes it a step further because Leorio, being a doctor, he opens the eyelid and he sees, okay, well, this guy's actually not unconscious. We
his
don't
eyes like
see
moving
him
around.
think
You can
that.
see that in the animation.
Yeah,
Cool.
which I thought was really cool. Like if you're somebody who is paying attention and watching, that you can also figure it out. So the bet is, this is so weird to me, like how this bet happens, because they don't even actually like call their bet. They just kind of go through with it.
Yeah.
So okay, he's like, okay, how do we figure this out? Leori's like, okay, I'm gonna hold him over the edge, let him go. If he snaps back, he's alive. He accepts that, but like right before they accept it, he's like, okay, I changed my mind. Actually, he's alive. Gotcha.
yeah. Because he's like, all right, yeah, I bet he's not unconscious. And he's like, okay, we'll bet that he is unconscious still. And then he puts him over the ledge. He's like, okay, wait, actually, I'm going to change the bet.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? That's allowed?
40 hours that he's alive. Yeah, like, what?
Like, what? Got your ass.
I guess there's no explicit rules that, like, they can't change the bets.
That shit just pissed me off. Like, what? Asshole. Never mind. He's conscious.
Yeah, like, well, okay,
right.
nice. Like, you showed your true colors there.
Dickhead.
Which I mean, they're prisoners, I guess. Like, maybe this was expected. And Leorio treated this as if this was an outcome he expected as well.
Yeah.
So, read into that how you will. But it came off as really funny, presentation-wise.
Yep. So that happens. So technically the prisoners win that bet. Stupid.
Yeah, but Majitani is like, wait, no, don't drop me, don't drop me.
Yeah.
Screw the amnesty, runs back. Yeah.
And also during that, there's a quick cutaway where we see Ilumi also passes. He's the second to pass, or it's Ilumi. You don't know that yet.
Gita Rocker, right?
Gita Rocker, whatever.
Gita Rocker. Yeah. Interesting to note. I guess apparently, in at least the manga, probably 2011 as well, they only really showed Hisoka being the first to pass the exam, but 99 specifically showed Gita Rocker and Hanzo also passing, which led to a funny scene, I thought, of Hanzo walking in on Gita Rocker.
That's funny because I
Hisoka
remembered
playing
that
cards.
card scene being in the manga, but yeah, I'm flipping through. It is not. Huh. I don't know why. Maybe I saw that somewhere before. But actually, we'll just go to that because we already talked about the Majitani thing. So yeah, Hanzo is the third to pass. He walks in and he finds.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm the first to pass.
Yeah.
I'm the greatest, and he walks in on them playing cards.
Yeah, that's so funny.
That would be a weird blunt rotation right there to walk in on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So back to the boys again. There's another sweet scene here where Leorio, after this is all dealt with, Leorio turns to Kurapika and is like, I've dealt with the aftermath of your pride. And Kurapika smiles. Very sweet.
Love those two.
Hell yeah. So the bets are continuing, and we have Leorio's actual opponent stepping out, who we know is Larute. We don't get her name revealed here. And this is where I lost my fucking shit. She takes her hood off. Leorio's like, a girl? And then
A girl?
sequentially, everybody else in the room is like, a girl? A woman? A girl? A young girl? What the yeah.
They've never seen a woman in their entire lives.
Like, what is this? What the hell was that about?
Yeah, Tom was like, well, I'll be. Like, what do you mean?
Well, I'll be. Okay. What? What do you mean? What's the big deal? I laughed my ass off. Like, even just at the first Leorio reaction, I'm like, what the hell? And then everybody else does it too.
Literally everybody else.
What's so surprising? Well,
we basically end the episode on that note too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger. It's a woman.
It's a woman. Shocker.
So I'm looking in the manga. I just wanted to see if that is in it, and no, it is not. That does not happen at all. So
amazing.
Thank you, 99, for that. Well, we'll see how that goes next time. Surely nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, surely Leorio continues being the GOAT as he was this episode, and he's very heroic, and he wins it for his team, right? That happens, right? I remember that happening, right?
Yeah, if memory serves, I'm pretty sure that happened. That's awesome. So I can't wait to talk about that. But as far as this episode goes, I am actually glad we're stopping here because we get to end on a high note with Leorio because he was awesome in this episode, dude. He was so smooth and slick. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I always bring up 2011 when talking about Leorio in this adaptation because, like, it's my only point of reference, right? But, I'm just so used to 2011 treating Leorio as, like, this, like, stumbling fool, even throughout some of the serious moments. And granted, it's been a long time since I've watched the Hunter exam for 2011. I don't remember exactly how he was presented in this scenario, so I could be very much wrong, right, on my recollection. But yeah, I just feel like even within this, he was treated much more seriously and more competent in general, right? And like that's just how 99 presents Leorio as a whole. And I'm continuing to enjoy it every time I see it happen.
Hell yeah, man. It's just awesome. He just so cool in this episode. I loved every moment with him. Just such a great showcase of what he is capable of. He's not the group's fighter by any means. He's just kind of a smart guy, typically.
When he wants to be.
Yeah. Right. He's a smart idiot.
He's a smart idiot. Good way of putting it.
But yeah, I really like this episode. This actually might have been my favorite of the batch, dare I say.
I think so too. I think I can get along with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just such cool Leorio moments. And I mean, Leorio gets to shine all the time in this adaptation, as we've seen, but just so cool. And I like the Hisoka stuff as well. That was fun, even though very weird change, but
right. But
whatever. So yeah, that's our batch this week. We will, we'll continue next week with another not next week, 2 weeks from now with another 3 episodes. But as far as these go, do you have anything else to say about them before we see what everybody else had to say?
I don't really have a lot to say, and that's maybe the unfortunate part of this batch of episodes is that it was so straightforward that there really wasn't a whole lot to talk about outside of just recapping the manga, essentially, aside from a couple details. But for how the anime presented everything, I think it did a really good job. I'm very happy with how the lighting turned out of this episode, especially. Again, that was kind of a fear of mine going into Trick Tower.
Yeah.
Glad to see that's not really the case. And it was just entertaining all around. So I'm excited to see Trick Tower wrap up in the next batch.
Yeah, me too. All right. Then I think we're ready to check out community comments.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
Okay, now's the time of the episode where we go into your guys' thoughts on today's topic, which was Hunter x Hunter 99, episodes 13 through 15. If you want to get in on the action and discussion week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for our YouTube community posts, as well as a call-out post on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, if you're an audio-only listener, you can always email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. And speaking of which, we actually do have an email to read on the show here. Cage is a little bit more familiar with the email, as he's read it before I did. So I'll leave that up to him to read that. But yeah, we have an email to start us off today with community comments.
That's right. We have an email here from Isaac. He says, "Hello, Cage and Dylan." He says hello twice. I just noticed that. Hello.
Also spelled my name wrong.
Yes, he did spell your name wrong, but that's all right. We forgive you. He says, "My name is Isaac, and I'm from Dublin, Ireland. So congratulations. Your podcast has global reach." And yeah, you'd actually be surprised to look at our analytics. Most of our audience is not from the U.S.
It's actually kind of crazy. Like we're very international in terms of our podcast, in terms of audience variance. It's not something I would have expected starting this entire podcast in general.
No.
It's cool.
It is very cool, yeah. "I've been loving your Hunter x Hunter 1999. The first thing of 1999 I ever saw was an image on Google of Tan Hisoka, and my first thought was, ew. Fair. That left a bad taste in my mouth, and as I looked up the other character designs and saw White Beans, Pasty Tompa, and Bonelanov. Oh. Bonelanov is pasty? Whoa.
I can't wait.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. Which I won't spoil for you. Maybe he's not pasty. Maybe there's something.
There's something different about it. Now I'm curious though.
Okay. I lost my place. Shit. Won't spoil for you. That feeling increased. The only design that I saw and liked was Genthru's clothes. It's very specific. All right.
Long live Genthru, king.
Hell yeah. That's right. I started watching the first episode on YouTube, and as an anime only, the fact that the Fox Bear stuff happens in the first episode really caught me off guard. And it was really slow, but your 1999 series inspired me to start watching again.
Awesome. Oh, wow.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love your podcast, so when you were covering it, I started watching it. Also, on the wiki, there's a category for 1999 anime-only characters, but no one for 2011 only characters, which led me to believe that 2011 was a 1-to-1 adaptation.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You're mistaken.
I can see how that would lead you to think that though. Your podcast was partially the inspiration for me to read the manga, and so far I've read up to volume 15. Hell yeah, man, that's awesome.
Woo.
And almost every scene is an upgrade from the anime, so thanks. Hell yeah, man. I'm always preaching that.
That's awesome.
About these episodes, sorry I don't have more to say on these episodes. Nothing really stuck out to me, and yeah, I mean, we're kind of with you. We actually talked about it a lot more than I thought we would, but...
yeah, but probably still on the shorter side compared to some of the prior episodes, though. So
yeah.
Interesting.
I am so hyped for Nen Impact and have a prediction for some of the DLC characters. I think it will either be a Chimera Ant, like the cheetah or lion, Leo and Cheetu.
I would like to see Leo. I think that could be an interesting moveset.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Because he's got the surfing.
Yeah, I think that could be unique.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He has a few abilities because he can, like, steal them, but that he really only uses the surveillance flies and the water surfing. What else?
Right.
I can't remember what else he uses, but surely a couple other things.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think one of the characters will be Goto.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Holy
God, please. Dude, I need that, actually. I didn't even think about that. Perfect. I want that so badly.
He would have probably the most annoying move in the game, but I'm down for it.
Yeah, you're so right.
that projectile would be nuts.
It'd be like an instant projectile. Yeah, that'd be awful. Oh man. Because Pito is a later character, and there are already characters from Chimera Ant, Yorknu, Greed Island, and Heaven's Arena.
Sure.
The arcs with Nen, which is why I didn't include Hunter Exam. Yeah, fair enough. We could get Hanzo. Well, kind of. Maybe.
Eh,
You'd have to stretch
maybe.
a little bit. But there are no characters from the election arc, technically. He was introduced earlier, but that's when his Nen ability... That's when his... Wait, sorry. This is very small. I should have blown this up
Some
more.
disconnect there.
When his...
He's trying to say, I guess that's when his Nen ability wasn't revealed.
Before his Nen ability was revealed.
Yeah.
I also think it's weird that Killua has so many outfits, but the only one they chose for pre-order exclusive was just the exam skin in a different color. Yeah. It wouldn't be that out there since they have... sorry, I keep losing my place here. Since they have Suit Crollo, so why didn't they? I mean, they could create a whole skin pack of just Killua's outfits. They absolutely could. Yeah, he has so many.
Mm-hmm.
They should definitely do a pack of 1999 variants for the millennials and add a filter on the skin that changes them to Togashi's art style. That'd be sick.
That'd be
Fighters did
interesting.
something like that.
That'd be interesting. I have no idea how technically conducive that would be though for the game's engine. So
I also think
Interesting.
they probably legally couldn't do that because the license holder is Madhouse, and
Ooh,
I think they have to use those character designs.
good point.
I think. I'm not exactly a legal expert by any means, but I think that's how that works. One more thing. I know how much you guys love Owl, but I think the owls on the page of 411 are just a callback to the cover of Volume 18, which featured Kurapika in front of an owl.
No, it's definitely related to Owl.
It's Owl. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Owl, man. Yeah.
Sorry to burst your bubble like that. Also, I've noticed an interesting pattern about the arcs. Volumes are 10 chapters. That's not the pattern. It's just relevant to my point. Okay. I've classified them into 4 categories: micro arcs, mini arcs, regular arcs, and mega arcs. Micro arcs are the 1 volume or less, like the Zoldyck family arc and the Dark Continent Expedition arc. I'll fight people to the day I die about that one. That is not an arc. That is the beginning of the succession contest, guys. Come on.
Don't get Kate started.
Do not get me started on that.
I've heard his rants about this kind of stuff before, guys. You do not want to start.
I do the same shit with One Piece. You're gonna tell me post Water 7 is an arc? I'll fucking beat your ass. That is not real.
It's Water 7, Ennie's Lobby, and post Ennie's Lobby, Cage.
Fucking. Anyways.
For the record, I think it's all Water 7 too.
Yes. How else could you view it? Anyways, mini arc are 2 volumes, such as mini arcs are 2 volumes, such as the Heaven's Arena arc and the Election arc. Regular arcs are 4 to 6 volumes, which are Greed Island arc and York New City. Lastly, there is mega arcs, or just arc, because there's only one, which is the Chimera Ant. Well, succession contest. Will probably end up fitting into that category.
Yeah, how many volumes is that taking up right now? 4?
No, it's 6 or 7, I think.
Oh. No, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So already, yeah, Succession War would fit that criteria.
Yeah, actually. I think it's worth noting that counting chapters 401 to 410, which would be volume 39, the Succession contest. Oh, well, here we go. I spoke too soon. Is on its 7th volume, which could mean it's ending soon or now. That's.
I mean,
honestly...
okay, we've made the point before, back when 410 especially was releasing, that we're at a point now where Succession War could theoretically start its climactic points at any chapter now.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of how much Togashi wants to drag it out for.
For sure, we've gone very far in a short amount of time. That last chapter especially, that pushed us forward a long way, a distance of time that we were not expecting to pass. Yeah. So, hey, I could see it. I think there's still probably a good 2 volumes left at least, and I think there's even more, to be honest, but at least 2 volumes beyond what we got.
But I think the point though is rather that if we're at a conceivable point where it wouldn't be surprising, I think, to most people if it were to start
Yeah.
the stages of wrapping up, at least, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I would expect next time, we get chapters, I feel like it will be starting to enter some kind of climax. Unless, which we talked about this back when we were talking about chapters, like, we could go back in time, which I want them to very badly, because Hulkenberg's funeral, come on, man, I need to see
we
it.
kind of need it for some plot points.
We need it. But there is also a dark timeline where we don't get to see that.
Yeah.
Time will tell, though. Anyways, sorry this is so long. I had a lot to say. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you so much, Isaac. I love getting emails. Very sweet of you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And yeah, no worries about it being long. We are used to that. Insert name comments every single week. Yeah.
Coming up soon. Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for that.
Yes.
Next up, we have just YouTube comments. There's no Twitter or Bluesky this week, unfortunately. So first up is from Pea Sola. Again, sorry if I butcher your name specifically. I feel like I read your comments like every single time, and I
you
feel
do.
Like
I've never had to say their name before, but you've said it every time.
Anyways, it's a near one-to-one adaptation of Trick Tower so far, and Trick Tower is awesome. The characters are explored so well through their actions, and it's also quite entertaining. The Ahsoka scene being censored is industry standard, but still sad. The only thing I find weird is the girl only later joining the betting game for no reason at all. Maybe the fact that there is a criminal woman was cliffhanger material back then.
Yeah, that is odd. Because she, in the manga and anime, she wasn't like on the ring yet. She was still like wearing her cloak and like kind of doing the bet stuff from behind. But yeah, here they have Ben Dot doing it all for some reason. It's
so interesting.
Odd. Yeah.
It definitely reads though as like a product of the time though, of like, oh my gosh, a woman, bum 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 bum, yeah, to be explored next week.
Yeah. Next up is from the Jinzo Spoon, who says Togashi acting and screaming was hilarious. It absolutely was. I love it so much. That's the highlight.
It's a scene I won't forget. For the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Next up, we have from Xander saying, "What's up, guys? Can't wait for the pod episode. Can't wait for you to see this episode." Yeah. Episode 13. Did you guys know that the mountain climber that dies in the first few minutes is voiced by Togashi himself?
This is gonna be like the Viggo Mortensen breaking his toe thing for Hunter x Hunter.
It really is. There's even pictures of him in the recording studio. Oh, I didn't know that. The story goes that one day he showed up to check up on the anime's progress, and they asked him if he wanted to voice a character. Pretty cool, I must say. And his voice sounds pretty badass, too.
It does. He actually has a sick-ass voice.
Other than that, nothing too notable, except the fact that I love how Trick Tower looks in this adaptation. The colors, how dim everything is. I think the atmosphere is as always is top-notch. I wouldn't say as always, but it definitely works here for sure. I always loved Tompa and Leorio's feud in this section of the story. LOL. I'm Team Leorio, of course. That petty motherfucker voting wrong on purpose pisses me off. As I think it does for literally everybody watching. That's the point. Episode 14, a one-to-one adaptation with nothing major to really talk about other than the fact that I think I vastly prefer how this entire section looks here compared to 2011. It's darker and grittier and really makes the whole confrontation with the prisoners more tense, in my opinion. I also really liked Kurapika's Scarlet Eyes moment. It looked straight out of the manga.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
That's not really something I can kind of talk about, I guess. But yeah, I do agree that there is kind of just like a grittier feel of this section in particular compared to 2011. I think it adds to it, for sure.
Here you go, Dylan.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. Audio listeners just showed him the panel of Kurapika with the Scarlet Eyes.
Very nice.
I also just love how this episode how Trick Tower looks. It just this is where the lighting of 99 really benefits it compared to 2011.
Not too dark, not too bright, and I think it definitely adds to the tension for sure.
Yeah.
And then episode 15, a really strange and needless change here. I don't know if you've noticed, but the guy that Hisoka kills in the manga and 2011 is a hunter examiner. the one that Hisoka nearly killed the year prior, and that caused him to be disqualified. Here, for some reason, he says, "I didn't come here to pass the exam this year. I came just for you." Like, why? Why did they feel the need to turn him from examiner to examinee? LOL, I can't wrap my head around it. I know it's a small thing, but this is the most irritating change so far. It feels like changing things just for the sake of it, with no real reason behind it that could make the story better in any way.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really add to that.
Yeah,
You said everything.
I will agree that this is definitely the most irritating change so far, because none of the other changes have made me literally pause the episode and just like ponder. Like I just sat there like hand on chin. I was just thinking.
The thinker, yeah.
What? Like why? What in the world? So yeah, this was very, very weird.
Yeah, like
What
at least
happened?
like the additional like tunnel in like phase 1 was like, okay, like, you know, there's some like there's an idea here, right? Maybe it wasn't executed well, and like maybe it doesn't make sense the more you think about it. But on paper, you're not like, you know, actively like thinking about like why did they change this, you know?
Yeah.
More so out of curiosity. This one was definitely like, huh? Like,
Yeah.
literally why?
Yeah, so weird.
But yeah, thank you for the comment though. Good comment.
Yes. As always, thank you, Xander. Next up is You Know Him, You Love Him. It's insert name. Back again. We will be splitting
Back
the comment
again.
in half as per usual. So, says, given you guys don't know, I'm curious, how many episodes do you think there's left in the exam? Okay. It's a fun opener.
So we have a little bit of Trick Tower to go through still. We have the whole badge hunting section to go through. And then after that is
just
the
tournament, which
tournament.
will be really short because we only get to see Gon's match, really.
I'm
I
gonna
do.
say,
Okay,
like-
so I mean, do you know how long this whole series is?
like 60 something episodes, right?
Roughly, yeah. It's it's 62, but there's more because of the OVAs. But
The OVAs, right.
this original run, the TV run, is 62. So we can have an educated guess because we know that this ends, or at least I know that this ends before York New even finishes. So, and that's.
I'm gonna say like
62. I'm gonna say like
somewhere
30.
between 8. You think this will last all the way to 30?
I do.
Oh wow.
I bet there's gonna be some like filler thing that they add. Dude, the badge, phase
That's
4
gonna be
is
prime
like
filler.
prime filler. We're gonna see like
I didn't think about
Ponzu and oh my god, I forgot his name. You know the other one,
that. Pockle
Pokel. Yeah,
or Pokle, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't consider filler.
I'm
But
saying
you know what? I'm
30.
gonna have a different guess still.
Okay.
I think there's gonna be 10 to 12 more episodes, so it'll end around like 25 to 27.
Okay. Yeah, so we're in the same ballpark. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
30 around that range, but you're a little below that, like 25 roughly, right?
Yeah, 25,
Okay.
give or take.
All right. Yeah, we'll see who wins that bet. I'll try to keep track of
Yeah.
that. I also got to keep in mind, I bet there's going to be some crazy Heaven's Arena filler too. So that'll probably extend. That'll probably fill
That's
some
another-
episodes.
That's another factor because as much as I think badge hunting is definitely prime filler, I think Heaven's Arena is like even more prime filler territory, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
There is also like, if I'm correct, that means half of this damn show is hunting exams. which
Hunter.
is-
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like,
unfortunate.
does that sound right to me? I don't know. You know, so
It
in my
definitely
head, it's like,
doesn't,
okay,
but
end around 25, have a couple episodes for Zoldyck family, and then we have the rest of the series for Heaven's Arena and York New.
yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, 1999 adapts Trick Tower, perhaps the best of any depictions of the arc.
I
I
can
think
see
I
it.
agree so far, except
Yeah.
the weird change with Togaru.
Yeah.
And the woman reveal.
I mean, that's more just funny than anything else.
It's
honestly.
hilarious. That's like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, dude, that would be a really good like reaction video. Just all of them, one after another, being like, "A woman, a
A
girl."
woman? Well, I'll be.
Well, I'll be. Okay, so as a general trend, I love the color palette of this section of the story in the adaptation. Okay, that's good to hear from you because you were really critical of the, the darkness before, which I mean we were too, but that's cool that you also enjoyed this part. From the beautiful sky when they are at the top of the tower to the cool, what is that word? I've never seen that.
Modeled.
New word just dropped.
Day. It's an adjective marked with spots or smears of color.
Okay, well, there we go. Mottled grays. That's actually, that's a good one to know.
Yeah.
As someone who enjoys manga and such. Purples and blues of the hallways, and ultimately the warmth provided in the central challenge room coming from the glow of the lights. It looks so much better than in 2011 and has an ambiance to it that I just really enjoy. Totally agree.
Yeah.
In 2011, the prisoners were wearing clothing the same color as the walls. It's very samey and not striking. In 1999, it felt intimate and confined. The characters generally have a higher contrast with their surroundings and just looks excellent. The space just feels better. There's really only 3 things in 1999's depiction of Trick Tower I think it lags behind the other adaptation in. The first being none of the adaptations being able to come close to the amount of demon time Killua is won in the manga during his match in Trick Tower. The second is Killua's eyes. I actually prefer the effect in the 2011 anime to the 1999 one. It just holds on slightly better, but provides music and visual effects to show Kurapika's. Okay, I got confused. You're talking about Kurapika this whole time.
Okay.
You said Killua twice. At first I was like, okay, that's a typo,
like,
but then you said it a second time. It's like, huh? Okay.
This makes so much more sense now. Okay, this is about Kurapika.
Yes.
Okay.
Kurapika. Kurapika's mental state better, and the glow looks more complete and visually interesting. I agree.
Yeah.
Here, it's just kind of red, and they hold on it for a second, but very quickly move on to the next scene in comparison. The final one is the Togari versus Hisoka. Really hate them demoting Togari from former examiner to applicant. I guess since they say he's not there to take the exam. In general, I think 1999 kills it with the setting and backgrounds compared to 2011, but I will say 2011 went above and beyond in its version of the fight so much that I forget the lead-in with the candles and green lighting. Is not in most versions, and instead fighting in a blank room. Yeah, it's you'll have to rewatch that scene in 2011, Dylan. It's pretty cool looking. They do the whole fight in this cool it's like the room's like a big cylinder. Okay. It's a really neat looking fight. It's a really cool early showcase of like what a fight in Hunter x Hunter can be.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out on my own time, though, because I just genuinely forgot that even happened, so
yeah.
I have no recollection.
It just has so much less to it in the manga and in the 1999 version, and I do think they are lesser for it. As someone who started in the 2011 anime, the dynamism of that fight is one of the primary memories I have of the arc, and its subdued presence feels like it does leave something missing in the arc. Though that's more of a plus for 2011 for identifying they could spruce it up. Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're up now.
No, I didn't have a whole lot to say.
Well, you got to read the next part.
Oh, I thought you had a point to say.
No.
Sorry, my bad. I misread that.
Yeah,
continuing on with insert names comment. I like the design they used for the monsters attacking the climbers, sufficiently unsettling. Yeah. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
They had like. They were kind of crazy designs.
Those
honestly.
are like Dark Continent ass things. Honestly.
Yeah, actually.
I
would have thought they were on the Dark Continent. Freaks, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Just carry the guy out too. That guy's just dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
A weird thing I noticed is the cookie the examiner eats just looks better in 1999 compared to 2011. There, it's a bland biscuit. Here, it's full of chocolate chips. They spared no expense.
Hell yeah, gotta go all out for those cookies.
Yeah. I don't like how Gon accidentally drops the candle and then makes the realization it isn't going out. It takes away from the planning and realization to not have him actively come to the solution by being proactive. It's another example of removing the exceptionalism from Gon in 1999, though a minor one. They also removed Gon's sense that Majitani doesn't give him a chill, also taking away his superior perception abilities. That's a good point,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
'Cause I remembered the candle blowing scene, especially being like more of him being quick minded. It definitely didn't come across like that in this adaptation, admittedly. Because again, he just kind of dropped the candle. And he's like, oh, well, I guess I should do something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he's more reactive in this one. Which, I don't know. It still works. It's just in a different way.
yeah. I don't think it really harms him necessarily, but I could see it kind of like irking you for sure.
Yeah.
They removed Majitani's blue. Someone get him some blue milk.
Yeah, he needs it.
I like how both animes do cutaways to Hanzo finishing, but the Illumi and Hisoka playing Old Maid is by far the funnier one, and I'm shocked 2011 didn't do it the exact same. 1999 got it right here. Yeah, that was just a funny scene. Again, Hanzo's just like, yep, I'm the greatest, I finished first, everyone suck my nuts, and then he just sees Hisoka and Gita Rocker. Just, yeah, nightmare blunt rotation right there. So
Yeah.
I'd be unsettled too. It was very funny, though.
Yeah, I
That's the
loved
point.
it.
I'm so hyped for the next batch, though, because I'm really looking forward to your reactions to a stretch of episodes that begins with episode 18. Interesting.
That tells me filler. I might be right.
That tells me filler. Oh, no. Yeah, I might be losing this bet, guys.
We'll see.
Say a prayer for me. But yeah, thank you, insert name, for your comment, as per usual. Really
Yes.
good points all around.
Thank you, as always. And we're also looking forward to the next batch. I'm especially looking forward to it now. I might have something interesting coming up. It's a shame we'll be cut off because we'll only get to see episode 18 of that batch, apparently, or that stretch of episodes. But we'll see.
It is what it is.
All right. Lastly, it's from Leo Dog, our artist, our mangaka.
Yeah, our mangaka.
Man, Gon is so clever. He inspires me to think more simply instead of overcomplicating. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Also, even though they didn't win, these prisoners were some legendary time wasters and would put the best stallers in sports history to shame. Honestly, yeah, they have very good plans for stalling. Like, it's super solid.
Yeah, no, genuinely. It's
Yeah,
impressive.
seriously, it's good ass plans. Especially, like, man, if wow, I've been saying his name, Ben Dot. If Ben Dot actually like succeeded with ripping out Tompa's throat, like, holy shit, what a genius play.
What could they have done?
Nothing.
Yeah.
They're just stuck. They lose. And they get like 72 years or 90 years, whatever, wiped off their sentence. Like, holy shit.
72 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
My God.
Insta win.
Yeah.
Genius.
Man, frick Tompa, even though he's a fun addition to the story. Yeah. You hate to, or you love to hate him. That's Tompa for you.
His addition here and this part of the arc specifically makes it feel complete. That's
Absolutely. You're so right too. He's just that extra little something, like a little hint of spice.
Exactly. He is the drama starter for the entirety of this section.
Yeah.
His presence is warranted.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for the comment, Leo Dog, and that actually does it for our community comments section this week. And I'll leave off with the usual reminder: if you want to get in on the fun and discussion week to week, make sure to keep an eye out for our YouTube community posts, as well as Twitter and Bluesky call-out posts. And as always, if you're an audio-only listener, you can also email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com.
Like Isaac did.
Yeah, like Isaac did.
All right. With that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. We are available on all major podcasting platforms, as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, and review on it. Oh, God, this whole thing is messed up. Be sure to follow, rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for updates on the show and an alternative way to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. As always, we'll be here the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. Dylan, where can people find you online?
You can find me online at DJ Tengen, on Twitter and Bluesky, rather. That's DJTENGEN. Yeah. You can find me there if you want to see me yap about a bunch of random stuff, I suppose. So, yeah, go check me out if you're interested.
And you can find me on Blue Sky at Kaige10. That's KIIGE10, where I am going to be talking about Steel Ball Run, baby. It's all that's on my mind. This is my second favorite manga of all time. I am so ready. I cannot wait. I am losing my mind every second of the day, and it's going to be painful waiting for it. But I'm just so happy to know it exists.
He's definitely going to be trying to get me into JoJo even more over the next
Dylan,
little
get
while.
ready.
So I'll provide updates on that as they come, I guess, on Caige's success rate.
Yep, I am going to be going all in on that, so prepare yourself, Dylan.
Mentally preparing already.
All right, that's it for the show this week. Next week, guys, we're doing our first whatever we call them, like a random episode.
Variety episode?
Variety episode, yeah. And this is a fun one. I'm looking forward to this one. We are going to be talking about every single Greed Island card. Okay?
This one might take a while, guys.
This will be fun. We're going to read through, see what they're all about, talk about maybe what we would do with them in real life, or maybe what the characters would have done. We'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. This was an idea back, this is also our first idea that we're taking from a community post we did after the hiatus ended, asking our audience to give us some ideas for episodes during the hiatus. And this was from Stonebreaker.io, a longtime listener. Mm-hmm. So tune in for that next week. And we'll do the call out post obviously just sometime during the week. I don't know what you guys will talk about. I'm just gonna say, hey, we're talking about Greed Island cards. Go wild. I don't know. Tell us whatever you want about them.
By nature of that, we may have to actually comb through comments rather than provide everything, depending on the response rate. But just keep that in mind. Yeah. Be creative with your response in the case of that. But
maybe try to keep them a little shorter than usual, because this might be a long episode, and we might get a lot of write-ins. I don't know, though. It depends. I don't really know how this will go, but do whatever you want, ultimately. We'll figure it out. We can comb through ourselves.
Yep.
But yeah, join us for that. That'll be a fun time, and then the week after that, we'll be back to 99, obviously. So, that's it for this week, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you then, guys. Did you download all the episodes ahead of time?
No, not all of them.
Okay.
Oh. Hold on.
You're good. No rush.
Can you talk for a sec?
Hello, this is Dylan Boggs.
Talk again.
Hello, this is Dylan from the Hunter Association.
What have I done?
Oh no. Episode ruined.
I'm going to leave and come back real quick.
Okay.
Hello? Fuck! What did I do?
What did you do? We're experiencing some technical difficulties. All podcast listeners, please stand by. Ignore the blue flashing light on Caige's webcam. Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. What happened, dude?
I fucked it all up. Can you link me the YouTube video again? I'm just gonna do it this week. I have to. I wasn't thinking ahead properly.
Yeah, okay, I can drop that. Hold on.